think you've learned about yourself after now doing 2 solo albums after being in a band for so long?
I do, it's pretty cliche, but I think you're always learning as an artist in general. Every song you write, you know, every album that you make, you learn something about yourself as an artist, definitely. But I think the jump from my first record to this record, Faith in the Future, there was just a lot of treading water, a lot of trial and error in the process of making the first album, and it's something I'm really proud of, but it was stressful, especially the first half of it was stressful. So what's been lovely about this album is I kind of had my head screwed on. I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. In terms of what specifically I've learned, I suppose just who I am as an artist better, but you kind of chip away at that every album, really. But as an artist, as a singer, you know, but it's a daily process, all of that.
Absolutely. You've been touring a lot. The better part of this year, you've basically been touring. Is there any place that you're dying to go to perform that you haven't yet?
I've been lucky enough to tour a lot of amazing cities, a lot of amazing countries, but I've never been to India, and it's just somewhere I've always been really excited to go to. Travel in general, I imagine the shows would be amazing there, so yeah, I'll say India. Indian food is banging, man.
Agreed. They know what they're doing, that's for sure. How did that even come about? Like, where were you? Were you just one day like, you know what I want to do today? I want to create my own fucking festival. That's what I want to do today. Like, how did that even happen?
It's a dream I've always had. So yeah, I've always had half an eye on it. I didn't always think it was necessarily possible. And it was over lockdown that I really started thinking, well, maybe this is going to be the thing that I've achieved through lockdown is creating this. And originally, the first, we've done it 2 years, and the first year, it was essentially just a thank you to the fans for their incredible support, but also just celebrating live music being back, because, you know, I, as a music fan myself, was really missing it through lockdown, so it was kind of just a celebration of that. The hope was to do it annually, but obviously you never know how it's going to go first year. First year was a massive success. And the one that we've just done a couple of months ago, or probably not even now, maybe like 6 weeks ago, it was amazing, absolutely amazing, and it gives me an opportunity to show my fans, you know, all the music that I love listening to.
Okay, yeah, so you get to pick the bands,
which is good fun, man. It's an amazing thing to do, definitely.
Yeah.
But also it gives me an opportunity to, you know, especially bands on the up that maybe wouldn't have had, you know, this kind of opportunity this early on in their career. It feels good to kind of give back and help them at that development stage of their career as well.
I love that.
I don't really know how they'd get to me, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
I'm a
guess
serious guy.
So what can we expect from the next festival? I know this one just ended, but everybody that does something...
That would be cool.
Everybody that does something like this, it's like the festival ends and then immediately you're starting to plan the next one.
Yeah, well actually even before I'd done this year's, we started the conversation. It's still early on in the conversation. In terms of what to expect, I mean, it's going to be hard because it was such a big look this year in Spain. But I just want to keep growing it. So, you know, the end goal, or like in 5 years' time, I'd love to have it over 2 nights. I don't know, this sounds like a head fuck, but I'd love to get some camping involved. Like when I go to a festival, you've got to...
We've got a lot of campgrounds here in Nashville.
There you go.
I'm trying.
But yeah, I'm really excited about it. I don't know where it's going to be yet. We take it around different places. Don't know where it's going to be. I mean, at some point, obviously, I'll come over and do it in America. I don't know about next year, but we'll see. For
people to kind of know what it is and submit themselves to come here. And I got to throw chicken nuggies at my boss for it. Like, I just tossed a bunch of chicken nuggets, all thanks to the viral video of you having a chicken nugget thrown at your fucking head. Is that right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, at the time, obviously now it's funny as fuck, but at the time I was fuming, man. I was fuming. It bounced right off the head. Yeah, I just felt like a bit of an idiot at the time. Like, but obviously it's fucking funny now, but don't be doing it again.
Well, I was gonna ask, what's the craziest thing that's been tossed at you on stage?
I'm not gonna lie, there's been many things thrown at me over the years. I don't know if any of them have ever connected like the chicken nugget.
So the chicken nuggets really
I'm
holds
gonna go
a
with the
certain...
chicken nugget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dark
let's not
times
do
for me,
that.
dark times.
I don't know what your beef is with baked beans, dude. Like, what is your problem with baked beans?
The thing is, you don't even really know about baked beans.
What do you mean? What
Have
do
you
I
had them
need
in
to know
England?
about baked
Have you had them in
beans?
England?
I haven't.
They're quite different, right, to what they're like over here? A little bit different, right? I don't eat them because they're shit, right? So, what's my beef with them? I just don't like them, man. Like, it's funny because like every single person I know likes baked beans. Didn't think I'd be talking about baked beans, by the way. But I just think they're shit, man. I think they're shit.
You're just not into it.
Into them, no.
You know, I'm gonna go to England, I'm gonna try baked beans, and I'm gonna let you know what I think about them.
Do that.
Because I love the baked beans. Have you had baked beans here?
I am, because I don't like them in England.
Okay, baked beans here, vastly different.
I just told you that.
You're right. Because it comes in a can, and it's kind of disgusting, actually.
Yeah, right.
But you should try it. I feel like baked beans in England should be like more authentic, I guess.
So what you're saying is, if I don't like the authentic version, I should try the fake knockoff, and maybe I'll like that.
Absolutely.
Okay,
It's like
okay,
McDonald's. Do you like McDonald's?
I fucking love my
Exactly. So you're gonna love our baked beans in the can, because a real burger doesn't taste like a McDonald's burger.
That's true, to be fair. Good example, yeah. Fair enough. I'll give you that,
Give me a run for your money, Louis.
No, fair.
So, anyways, I'm gonna sit like this because I really feel like I'm gonna fall this time.
Doesn't look awkward.
And you know, yeah.
Does it?
Yeah. It's gonna be awkward. Okay, wait, hold this. Nobody has phones. So. Okay. I told you. You got it. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate that. I knew it, and I was like, now's my time. There's no phones allowed here. Like, they won't go on TikTok though. I'll just be embarrassed in front of you guys. You only got a glimpse of how wild this room went.
I've done quite a few of these now, and that's by far the best fucking reaction.
You have to see, Lee has some of the videos, he's around here somewhere, of them just vibing out. Like, the first song came on and everybody jumped up, they're like, it's time to dance. It's time to fucking dance. We're just gonna dance this entire song. And they did not sit pretty much for the entire time.
Everybody was crying.
Yeah, there was a conga line at some point, conga line, like, what would be your top 3 favorite songs from this album? Are they any of the songs that we heard?
Top 3. Yeah, I'd put Saturdays in there. Silver Tongues, which you haven't heard, and probably Out of My System, which you haven't heard either.
Okay.
That can change.
Okay, love that.
I like it. Hustle, I like it.
So with this album, is it something that we should kind of listen as if it's like a story, like from front to back? Or is it something where we can bounce around? I know typically everybody has it in their mind when they make an album, how they want someone to listen to it.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to tell anyone how to listen to my album. That's up to you guys. But there was an intention. The same with my first record, to be fair. Like, it is important for me that it feels like a body of work, and if you do want to listen top to bottom, it kind of makes sense. And songs like The Greatest, which opens the album, that was written actually as a tour opener, but then made sense to be the album opener. So it's definitely in my mind when I'm writing it what we need for the first look on the album and what should close the album, etc.
Which I just think that's going to be, has to be an amazing song to sing live and listen to everybody kind of sing back to you. Did you write it with that in mind of like it kind of being an anthem and then singing back?
Yeah, very much so. I wanted on this first single it to have a certain level of like statement of intent and ambition. I think with that, especially with a song like this, you need that big soaring sing-along chorus. But I'll tell you what, it's fucking hard to sing, man.
I was gonna
It's starting to get my head around it. It's hard, man. It's hard.
because I tried singing it in the car, and let me tell you, it's not pretty.
Yeah, well,
I don't do well. You do great. I don't do well. It's got to be hard.
it is hard. It is
You
hard.
gotta belt that.
Yeah, it's proper.
You sounded really good in the lawn.
Oh, bless you, love. Thank you. Thank you.
And New York. And New York. That was sexy.
Oh, no.
Guys, I said Stevie, not that way.
I'm sorry. Come on. I'm sorry.
That you know you want the crowd to kind of be silent for. It's all about vibes, right?
Yeah, and naturally on the slower, more quiet songs, you would imagine that would be like a moment of like where it's a bit quieter in the room. But I'm so blessed at my shows. Like everyone gets involved at every single song. It doesn't matter the tempo, doesn't matter the genre, doesn't matter the lyric. They're just screaming at every song. So I'm lucky enough for that to happen on every single song, really.
Okay, so you just want everybody to sing it, belt it out?
Definitely.
Okay.
Because it's about us. It's not just about what I'm doing on stage. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It isn't. It's about, us as a collective.
I love to
definitely.
hear that because I'm a singer at a concert. Like, I love to sing all the songs, but I know a lot of artists don't like that necessarily. And when we're at smaller venues, I always feel bad when you can't even hear the artist because we're all singing the songs.
Yeah.
But I feel like that should be cool, right? Like, clearly those lyrics resonated with the audience enough for them to remember them.
Yeah, it's almost like I can imagine being in those situations myself at music or even at sport when you're part of like a chant and you're all together singing the same thing. That's an amazing feeling. So just because I'm singing on stage, it doesn't make any difference. And also, that's what I fucking feed off. It doesn't matter if it's a ballad or if it's an up tempo. That's what gives me energy on stage every time. So keep it up.
When you go to concerts, are you a singer or do you sit there quietly?
I'm not gonna lie, I used to be. And I'll get involved. If I've had a few drinks, I'll get involved. A little bit.
You get a little looser?
Little bit, yeah. But it's one of them, like it's a funny one as a singer, then going to a gig and then singing. Like I spend a lot of my life singing, so like when I'm at a gig I try and have a bit of the time off. You know what I mean? But once I've had a drink and like at a festival and that, I'll get involved.
You dance too?
But sometimes I do worry that I look like that grumpy guy at the back who's just going,
Will you dance too sometimes?
I'll get a little bit loose.
A little bit? I see the shoulder movement
don't get me
before.
wrong. I'm a shit dancer, like, but I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go once I've had a few drinks. Like everyone, I suppose.
What is it that you want a person listening to kind of get from this album? Is there something about you that they want to learn? Is it something about themselves? Like, what do you want when they take their headphones off and they take a deep breath in? What do you want them like to think originally? Other than damn, that was good.
I suppose the two things that I wanted out of this record was that it was going to be a good album that stood up at the live show, or even felt better at the live show than it does on record. And that was kind of the intention throughout the record, really. Every song was written with the live show in mind, so.
Okay, love that. I love music better live, if I'm being honest. It's like I said, it's about the vibes.
And also live music's unpredictable, and that's what makes it exciting. Whereas, don't get me wrong, it's great listening to the tracks, and I hope you buy the album. But for me, nothing beats that live experience.
It is unexpected. You never know when you're gonna get a chicken nugget thrown at your head, right?
Exactly, that's what I mean. I'll be prepared next time.
You gotta get like a shield or something. I know that there was this thing going around that
That'd
Lady
look cool,
Gaga had like this like super in-depth shield or something like that. I think you need something.
Could
like
you
that.
see me wearing one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, why not? You can do whatever you
It's a
want.
compliment, I think.
The world is your oyster.
There we go.
So, with all that being said, I'm very excited to hear the rest of the album because we got the clips, we got to hear a few things. You got a lot of different vibes going on. Like we heard some funky songs, some slower like guitar, I can see you singing them acoustically. Were you going into this album like, I want to tackle these different kinds of vibes or these different kinds of genres, or did it all kind of just flow that way and become one?
Kind of a combination of the two. The first album, because I was so particular about what I wanted it to sound like, I kind of alienated a lot of sounds, and I don't want to talk specifically about genres, but like sounds. So like, especially because I had the first look with my first singles with Steve Aoki, it was like this dance pop hybrid thing, which again I'm really proud of. But because of that, and I didn't think that kind of said who I was as an artist, I avoided any of those sounds on the first record. And I just wanted to be more open-minded about the sounds that we used across this record. Instead of being, because before all I was thinking about on the first record was it's just got to have guitars and really loud guitars on every single song. And for example, trap drums or any kind of dancey drums would be like a million miles away from what I want to do. But it was only kind of going through this process with this record and being brave enough to try different things that I realised that maybe, you know, to a degree, I got it wrong being that closed-minded on the first.
And then just trying it.
Definitely, and that's part of the creative process. But also, I had room to do that this time on the second record. The first album, there was so much room to be over analytical and worry about loads of things, whereas I could kind of, especially at the start of the process, go into the second album and be like, well, let's just try a few different things and see where we land.
I love that.
Yeah.
Or just more and more yourself.
No, I'd say every artist gets better every album, almost.
Honesty right there. I appreciate the honesty.
No,